Okay, so welcome everybody to Money Portal class number 4. And we are blessed to have everyone on the call today. I'm so excited to see all of your beautiful faces. Um, and let us start with some introductions. And the way we're going to do it is I'm going to call on someone, and then you're going to do your introduction. I'm going to give you 4 minutes, and then you're going to call on the next person. Like you pick who you want to be next. And the way we are going to frame this introduction is what's going on with you, where are you internally and externally, specifically as related to this course and the topic of money. And maybe you feel yourself behind, maybe you're still playing catch up, maybe you've done everything and now you're in a new place. So just tell us what's up for you and go. Well, let's start with Dominique, who's the first one. Are you ready to go, Dominique? You're gonna have to unmute yourself though.
Okay.
Sweetness.
Wait, can you hear me?
Did you just get a call? Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Ah!
Go for it.
I feel like I want to run outside. Okay, so I have not been very present with this experience because I'm so consumed about what's happening here in Asheville. But now that I no longer work at the boutique, I literally have negative $90 in my account. Rent is due in like a week, and I couldn't be any more like enthused about exactly where I am and know that I'm supported. The visionary inside of me is very much ready to start actualizing my gifts in the world, and I sense a lot of support through the community and the universe, man. Every equinox, something incredible happens. Some threshold I cross, and some type of transformation begins to inspire new breath, new awareness, and into embodiment. So on all like root levels, I feel okay, and consciously I feel that I've leveled up. leveled up. I've leveled up. And yeah, I'm inspired to continue deepening into shamanique, which is kind of like a brand, yet it's an embodied expression. I'm playing music all the time now, working on the website hopefully soon, and I would love to sing a song at the end of this experience to capture this whole money portal troop. This money portal squad. No, but I really do have a song that I think is like super like that's all I gotta say. And I love you guys so much. Life is so cool. And I'm broke as fuck. But my spirit is rich. I am complete.
So beautiful. Such a beautiful being. So I'm gonna jump in. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna have Eutimia go next because her battery's dying. But before we do that, let's take a breath with Dominique Share. Hey, thank you. Yummy. And you're next.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Utimia. Nice to be here. Nice to see you. As it pertains to the money portal, I was telling Fabio a little bit. It just feels really, it feels really cool to like have enough focus to put down all the things that are important to me. and like see them written down. That's been really helpful. I've been more into astrology in the last few years, but my south node is in Sagittarius, and that's like kind of what you default to, and that's all about being with people. Go figure, like my values. And my north node is in Gemini, and Geminis are storytellers. So in my life, I have to work toward, and this is how I figure it out because I'm a body person, I have to work toward like having it all here and just being able to like fluidly interact with people, to this honing, like making it succinct, doing that organizational, that wood growth piece, so that it's not just flailing out like fire, it's like moving like a tree that feeds the fire. So that's been super duper helpful for me. It's also really interesting for me in this, I mean, a lot of this stuff I've learned through, not osmosis, but I had a long-term relationship since college with a man. We were engaged at one point, and we haven't been together now for about 2 years, but he's a very successful businessman. His mom gave him, I think, I tried to upload my video with my money story, but this was part of it. His mom's Chinese and gave him a checkbook register when he was 5 years old and said, unless you can show me where all your money is at the end of every week, not only will I take you won't get your allowance for the week, but I'll take all of your money. So from the time he was 5 years old, he knew exactly where all his money went and knew what was like, never spent any money frivolously, and, you know, and it was really interesting in our relationship. There became this dynamic of the haves and the have-nots, and me coming from the culture that I was raised in was always like, you know, vilifying him and like his people. And granted, he's a filmmaker, and he kicked it with a lot of like really affluent white men in their 50s that were completely not respectful of me and my diversity and like my medicine ways and things like that. I was like kind of a weird thing, which is ultimately why our relationship didn't work out. But it's really interesting, like revisiting all of these concepts that I've already gotten a familiarity with, but it was like kind of a contrariness, or I can't think of the word right now, but just, you know, like the haves versus the have-nots, and he was the enemy, and even though he was my lover, which was, you know, that's obviously not helpful, but so now I'm like, oh, here's stuff that I've heard before, but I'm ready to hear it now, and I'm ready to use it for my own movement forward into my own, what I value, and that's really powerful. And I'm just super, super jazzed about really standing in my creative self. I practice Chinese medicine and curanderismo as a trade. I do a lot of work with people's bodies and people's spirits and ritual and things like that. But I was raised in an Aztec dance group. I've been singing and dancing since I was a little kid, since I was in the womb, really, and my mom danced during her pregnancy. So that's like my first language, and I show up in a place, I'm loud, my quirks, I'm a loud, vibrant burst of energy people talk about, and it's like I'm ready to finally like use my persona as opposed to like being shameful of being too much, which has been a story for me my whole life. I'm ready to like stand on my muchness and my isness and my loudness and my forthrightness, specifically as it pertains to my education in natural health. I'm just ready to be really present with my power, and this is a part of that. Financial capital is influence, and I'm ready to help the people in wellness. Yeah, and stop hiding from things. So thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Let's take a breath with that. Yeah, if you do have to run home, I would love, if you still have the time, I'd love for you to join us once you're home and all plugged in. Even though the class is running, just feel free to join us at any point. I love your presence here. And call on to the next person. Can't hear you.
Taya, sorry, mute. Taya, go, Taya.
I was trying to read your lips, but I didn't get it. So this morning, well, I started the personal success ritual yesterday, and saw how difficult it was to maintain focus, and even though I love doing all the things I've set up for myself to do, I'm so addicted to getting on the computer, being on the computer, starting my day that way. I'm just like the automatic fire, just like boom, hit the ground running. And it's just a really strong pattern I've been in for about 3 years now. And I don't love it. That is what I'm loving. I don't know if love is the right word, but so it felt so good to wake up and be calm and to be centered and to be present and be doing something that feels good and that I know is good for me. One of the things that I'm doing in my morning ritual is doing a puja with Lakshmi and my spiritual teacher, and just tuning in to my higher self and to what's in my highest interest. So I in particular asked to have some help selling our trucks. That's what's up for me right now, and we need to sell the trucks for various reasons. And literally as soon as I got done with my morning ritual, I was totally complete, sat down at my desk, didn't even open my computer yet, and I got a text saying, "Do you still have the excursion?" And then I opened my computer and got an email, very positive news as well in that regard. So it was a beautiful payoff, instant payoff, and then I did it again this morning, and part of what I did this morning was write down the 200 things, attempt to write down 200 things. I spent quite a bit of time, and I got to 100. And I saw that was a point where I was starting to struggle, so I know that's the point I need to continue forth. I was like, I was really stretching to figure out what else I could come up with. So I'm going to continue on tomorrow with the second 100, and push myself and see what happens with that. As I was mentioning earlier, I had the full intention to do the 60-60-30 the last couple of days. And for whatever various complex reasons, I have not been able to do that. So that's fascinating, and I'm still on track and intending to do that. One other really interesting thing that happened last night is I went to a meetup, the Asheville real estate investors meetup, and there was about 12 people there. And so that felt like a huge launching into my career, but also into my new persona, my new way of seeing myself and being in the world as a professional, as an adult, as someone who has something to offer on those levels. And I met a group of really lovely people, have made some amazing connections that are clearly going to be wonderful on a probably personal level as well as a business level. That felt really exciting and empowering. As well, yesterday I mentioned I'm in a women's group, and we just started a money series. So we kicked that off yesterday, and that felt really, really good. And I'm seeing how that's bringing more focus in to what I'm doing here and how that overlaps and feels super cool. And then tomorrow is the 6-hour brain-a-thon with this man who offers these technologies. Well, there's going to be a series of people lecturing on, reprogramming the brain so you can be successful in any ways you want, in any ways you want. But of course, it focuses on business and money if that's what you look at. So I'm really excited. I've cleared my day to do that tomorrow. And so that's what's up for me. I'm complete.
Thank you. Let's take a breath with that beautiful share. And I believe, Daniel, you're the only one left.
Hey. Yeah, so I started doing the 60-60-30 today, but within I was really excited for it, and I made the layout of time, but I got a phone call from the one person that I had to pick it up from, like like I can't miss her because this is serious, so I just got totally derailed and didn't do a thing. Yeah, and the waking up for the ritual has been equally unsuccessful so far. Um, yeah. So I'm in this money course, you know, and in the meantime, like I feel like my worldview is just getting devoured. Like I don't know what's going on. Like like in the deepest realms of myself, things are just like, yeah, there's so much change. So then to like to relate to money in the midst of that, it's quite a challenge, quite an invitation. Yeah, it's like money. Like I don't even know what that is in relation to me when I'm just like kind of exploding and imploding. Yeah, so not very practical at the moment. For example, I was ready to take some outward steps and like put myself out there as an artist and a poet and a interview host, but for whatever reason, the energy is now like inward and yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna make a livelihood at this. Like currently, it's not clear to me how I'm gonna make a livelihood. Yeah, so that's what I'm showing up with. You know, that's why I like being in this course because I can show up like that in regards to money. You know. Yeah. So there we go.
Thank you, brother. Beautiful. Let's take a breath with that. Yeah, I'll do a couple of minutes here. In the meantime, Dominique disappeared, so I'm not sure. We'll see if she's able to rejoin. But we'll just keep steaming on. Daniel, yeah, I love your share. I love all of your shares, and there's a piece of me. I have for those of you astrologically minded, I have a Saturn in Scorpio and a Mars in Scorpio, so I delight myself in the dark and the mud and the underworld. Okay, Utimia just popped off. Okay, and so I love hearing your share. I love hearing Dominique's present share as well, because I know those places in myself. And I think they're really real. Not that the other ones, not that like the happy parts and the like excited and fire parts are not just as real. I just have a particular affinity with those parts, and I know how thick and hard they can be, and draining sometimes. So I just really want to sort of give a shout out to that. And personally, I'm feeling good. My mom has back home from the surgery, and she's doing good, which is great. And I just completed 5 weeks of, I would say, pretty intense workout every single day. It's part of my PSR. 25 to 30 minutes a day of just intense, the most intense workout. And I feel good. I feel good in my body. I feel grounded and I feel potent. And I'm going to go on for the next 5 weeks round, and then after that there's a third 5 weeks round. So I'm excited Monday to just keep kicking my own ass with that. That's teaching me discipline, and it's a good lesson for me. This group is going great. I love what's happening. I love what's the connections that are being made and new people to join in. It seems like every class there's someone new that jumps on. And I love the material. The material is really potent, and this week is yummy for sure. So I'm gonna close it there, and let's take a breath in my share. And so it's already 8:35 here p.m. here, and we usually start at 8. So I guess we're 35 minutes over. And we're starting class right now, so we have about an hour. I'm probably going to ask you if you have at the end of the call 5 to 10 minutes extra, If you don't have that time, it's totally fine, and you can hang up and go do your thing and then watch the class afterward. But I'm gonna keep steamrolling because I wanna give you all that I can give you in this class, which is a lot, and it's potent again. So let us start. I'm gonna turn on the candle, as we do every time. This time is smaller, it's a tinier candle, and just turn on your own candle. Just connect with the inner light and the light that I have here. You can take a breath and drop into the body, drop into your heart. Just with one breath, connect with the heart. And then the next breath, connect with the belly. The next breath, connect with the root. From this place, we ask for help to the world around us, the wild world, the sacred world, all the ancestors behind us, spanning back generations after generation, all the future children that are coming, the future generations in front of us, and all the beautiful natural beings that surround us at all times, the trees, the winds, the waters, sacred waters, the animal beings, the plant beings. And we say hello to them, and we ask all supportive beings for support in this journey that we're on. Let's take another breath. Hey, amen. And we begin. So, as usual, hi Dominique. As usual, let's thank you for muting yourselves. If you do have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and interrupt me. If it's a burning question, if you can hold off onto the question and write it on a piece of paper, I will answer them at the end. And grab a piece of paper and a pen, because this class is going to be thick. And we're going to jump straight in. So here we go. Let's see here. So I'm gonna ask Taya. She's usually my assistant in this. Taya, can you see the writing Money Portal 4? Actually, I can't see it. Okay, no. Can you see? Can you see now? Okay, sweetness. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. So Money Portal, class number 4. Yeah, so we're in the thick of it, people. We're seriously beginning the descent. We have only 9 classes, so number 4, it's when the roller coaster starts going down. What usually happens in the outer life, I've had these experiences in this class before, is that life around us, we have crossed the threshold. We have taken that step. And I found that life around me really intensified. I found myself homeless. I found myself heartbroken in the past, just as this class was intensifying. So it's all normal in a sense, and all good. As Rilke, the poet, the German poet Rilke says, life is in the right always. So main topic for this week, we leave DeMartini, the work of DeMartini behind. Not completely, but mostly we leave him behind. And after this class, I'm going to post a video on the Facebook page that you're welcome to watch. It's a fantastic an-hour talk by DeMartini that I highly recommend you watch. And we move into the work of Brent Kessel. Brent Kessel is a financial advisor by day and a yogi by night. That's what he calls himself. So a highly spiritual person, like a serious yogi, and also a person that has his feet planted on this planet and knows the ins and outs of the money world, the financial world. He's worked with anyone from the poor people on the street to multi-billionaires. And so Brandkessel brings up this idea of money words. That there are words that trigger us into reactivity. And when we hear these words, we might pull away, distract, or fight. This also, you might have noticed, as it was present in the shares, that this also happens whenever a new habit is introduced. Tony Robbins, that Taya so graciously posted, Tony Robbins talks about it's a basic concept of psychology, which is we basically move towards what's pleasurable and we move away from what's painful. So whenever a new habit is introduced, and we're trying to substitute an old habit, like let's just say spending hours on end on Facebook. Well, hours on end on Facebook was actually meeting a need of us. Maybe the need for connection, maybe the need to be seen if we post something nice, maybe the need to stay connected with loved ones. So if we introduce a new habit, like instead of going to Facebook every morning, you're actually going to do a PSR practice where you're meditating and you're doing 25 minutes of workout, and then you're focusing on the most important thing in your life, that is not Facebook. There might be resistance after a while. Usually about a week in, there starts to be intense resistance. About 10 days in, it's some of the most intense resistance, and we fight it, and that's normal. And so we are creating new habits. All the practices that I've given you so far are new habits, and we're working a new muscle that's going to take us to the next step, to the next stage. So that's why I said last time, what is it going to take for you to step even more fully into who you are? What is it going to take? Because in some way, the old muscle, the muscle that we've been working so far, that in some ways it has served us to become who we are right now. But it doesn't serve anymore if we want to become the next person, the next phase of us. We need to learn to exercise this new muscle. So in trauma theory, there's this concept of fight or flight, which is actually, it has been expanded into fight, flight, freeze, think of deer in the headlights, or faint. And so I noticed this in myself, particularly around the topic of money. You may notice any of these combinations within yourself. Usually we have a tendency to gravitate towards one particular like a fight or a flight. We hear to talk about money, and instantly our inner rebel, inner activist jumps up and wants to tear down the system, and we fight it. Or maybe we flight and we flee. We run away. We hear the topic of money and we run away into spiritual bypassing, and we start thinking about the stars and the beauty of the light, and we are actually not dealing with the reality and the rawness, the matter of life. Matter, also a word that's connected to the word mother. Matter and mother are connected. Just little note there. Some other of us freeze. The topic of money comes up and we completely, again, deer in the headlights, shortness of breath, the body goes fairly stiff, eyes go sort of glazy, and we freeze. We breathe very little, and it's difficult to relate to the topic. Or we faint. That's more specifically in trauma. I doubt that every time you hear the word investing, you faint. But you may like feel sleepy. You may feel sleepy and sort of like want to avoid, or you may feel sort of like it's another form of fleeing. So knowing where we are in our relationship with money will give us a sense of where our reactivity lies. This is core. This is huge. Some of you, especially those of you that have been working with the body, I use the body a lot in my own personal life and also in my work. Some of you may have already noticed where the body gets reactive. I'm going to be inviting you to do more of that. Emotions and sensations. So I'm about to give you a few words. Grab a piece of pen and paper, because I'm gonna name a few words, and I'm gonna have you write body sensations and emotions that arise when I speak the words. You will notice them in your body. They might be a swirling, a tingling, a heat somewhere, a pinching, a clenching. So what I'm asking for is no story. This is not the time to go into, I don't know, I say investing. Well, when my father said investing, I thought that blah, blah, blah. No, just sensations and emotions. The difference between the two is the emotion is a sensation named. So maybe we feel a heat in our heart, like a rising heat in our heart, and we call that like gratitude. Or we feel a burning sensation in our belly, and we call that anger. So I ask you to do either or. You can do both of them. And sensations when I present you with a word. And we're going to start. The word money. Just very briefly, we're going to go one after the other. I'm going to say the word and just take like 10 seconds, and you're going to write the sensation and the emotion. With your inner eye, scan your body quickly. Notice where the tightness or the swirling or the excitement might be in your body. Notice it, write it down. Left shoulder pinching, something like that. And then we move on. Finances. Try not to read the other words, otherwise it becomes overwhelming. Just stay with the word I say. Okay, credit cards. Could be a tightening in the neck, tightening in the throat. Investments. And remind yourself to keep breathing as we do this. Mortgage. Rent. Your job. Your business. Debt. Abundance. Budgeting. Manifestation. Again, no judgment, just noticing and writing down. Taxes. The energy of money. 401k plan. Retirement. Inheritance. No story. College savings. Children. Medical savings. Healthcare. Okay. And here, just take a breath and just stretch your neck real quick. Stretch your arms and your wrists. Take a sip of water if you have it next to you. We're gonna steam on to the next phase. That was good information that you received. If you didn't receive much, that's totally okay. You may want to go watch this video again and try to do it again, maybe slower. The body has a way of communicating with us that's sometimes mysterious. So we're gonna jump straight into another exercise, and the roller coaster keeps going down, and it's time to look at our relationship with our ancestors and their relationship with money. So I'm going to be asking you a series of questions that you can already see, and try not to worry too much about the next questions. I'm going to make one by one, and as I ask the questions, go ahead and respond them. These are going to be, again, fairly short answers, a few phrases, paragraph. You're going to be writing these down on a piece of paper, and I'm going to give you about a minute. So don't spend too much time in your head. I mean, the story is absolutely important, but keep using your body to respond, because a lot of the stories, if not all of the stories, live in your body. And so here we go. How did your relatives and ancestors earn money? Ancestors refers to grandparents, people that are deceased. So in this case, you might write, my grandfather was a person in the military. Fairly simple, short, body-based responses, although written on paper. And how did they spend it? Were they frugal with it? Did they save it all? Did they spend it on particular things? If you don't remember, that's fine. Just sort of let your mind wander, let your memory wander, let your body investigate. And write down what you do remember. Or what you think it was probably the truth. Because whatever memory of your grandparents, ancestors is alive within you is what has stuck. Whether or not it was fully 100% true. That's what we're looking for. The memory that's in you. And next question is, did they save it or did they invest it? Did they worry about it? Did they talk about it? It could be one big question so you can answer. This can be hot material for some of you, so let yourself breathe as you answer. Keep feeling your toes inside your shoes, your socks, or directly on the floor. Press it down to keep gaining ground. Were your relatives and ancestors free with money? Were they generous, careless, frugal? Go for another 30 seconds. Notice if you have any reaction. I talked about fight or flight of things like, well, I don't remember. Sort of like, I don't remember. I can't answer this. I don't remember. Sort of snappy, a little bit fighting, also fleeing. Just notice if you have those reactions. And allow yourself, if you can, invite that part of you to dig a little bit deeper. Okay, and we're gonna pause with all of this. It's totally fine, whatever you've written so far. Always remember that you can go back later. And we're gonna look at another relationship which may or may not be even hotter for you. You and your parents. And a new piece of paper, or just turn the page. And we're going to start with the first question. Did you get an allowance as a child? And go. Short phrases, memories, key concepts. Go for the meat of the question. About 30 seconds. And then continuing, was the allowance payment for doing chores or for nothing? Maybe it was for a particular grade that you received. And as you're remembering, instead of just answering yes or no, of course, I'm inviting you to dig some possibly even specific memories. Like, oh yeah, I had to get all straight A's in order for me to get my allowance at the end of the week. And actually, that one time, I didn't, and it was devastating. Next question. When you wanted something as a child, did your parents buy it for you always, sometimes, or never? So when you wanted something as a child, did your parents buy it for you always, sometimes, or never? And notice if you're answering, as you're answering, if any memory comes up about a particular toy that you wanted, or like a video game, or a concert, or something. Just notice what shows up when invited, what memory shows up. Okay, we're going to pause here also. Find a way of bringing it to completion for a second. Take a breath and stretch your wrists. Feel your butt. Maybe massage your butt cheeks if they're getting stressed. And we're going to move on to the next phase. So here we're looking for, now we've been doing some building work. Maybe some memories have shown up. So we're going to look at key family money messages. These are going to be important for later. Again, I'm not asking you about something literal. I'm not asking you for something that, well, my father didn't actually quite say that. Well, I can't actually remember what my mother said. It doesn't matter, ultimately. What matters is the story that's alive inside of you. For some reason, for whatever reason, as a child, you accepted a particular narrative about what was happening. And there may be hundreds of reasons why. And that's the narrative that's inside of you. That's a story, that's a memory that's alive. And that's what we're looking for. Now, if you can find specific memories, that's even better. That's even better. The message gets even more, even louder. So here we're looking for the money messages. The first question is going to be the money message that your father gave you. A money message could be something like, well, son, or well, daughter. That's my father voice. Well, daughter, money doesn't grow on trees. And go. Doesn't have to be a negative message. Just what you do remember. The essence of what you remember. and it can be more than one. Okay, moving on to your mother money message. I'm having troubles. See if you can bring up the image of your mother in your mind's eye. And then next to her, put a wallet or like a bag of money or a check or something. See if that brings up anything. How we should deal with that bag of cash. Gonna go for another 15 seconds. Okay, and my grandparents' money message was your grandparents. And here you can use your paternal grandparents, your maternal grandparents, or maybe you use them all as sort of like if they all had a similar money message, you put them all in one category. Or you can go one by one too. My father's father said this, my father said that. Da, da, da. Okay. And next, the dominant cultural money message I heard from TV, books, religious leaders, where you're thinking about your childhood, you're thinking about your teenage years, especially if you stayed in the same place or in the same country, in the same nation. What were the dominant cultural money messages? Like right now, there's a lot of talk, definitely in Italy, a lot of talk of the crisis. There's a crisis. So probably children that are getting born right now are thinking of the crisis. That's something it's in their subconscious constantly. Or if you grew up in the 80s in America, maybe it was actually the boom of money. And so you have to be really successful, and money is great. Greed is good. I think it was from the movie Wall Street in the 90s. Greed is good. I'm gonna go for another 20 seconds. Okay, here we go. So take another breath here. I want you to take short breaks just to let yourself subtly process whatever it's moving through you right now. Again, it may or may not be triggering on any level. And next set of questions, your life and money. Again, a series of questions. These are, of course, present day sort of questions. But as you're answering these questions, that bag of memories that we carry on our shoulders at all times, it's been getting stirred up. So you may have particular answers that show up even more clearly now. So again, I'm going to give you a minute to answer. Clear, simple, one phrase or a few phrases answers. Just get to the meat of the issues. And grab a new piece of paper if you have one, or turn the page. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. So what are your predominant money fantasies or worries? What are your predominant money fantasies or worries? How does your current life reflect your ancestral messages? How does your current life reflect your ancestral messages? Another 30 seconds. Okay. How do you feel about spending money within your means or not? How do you feel about spending money within your means or not? And we've looked at our values, We've explored our values. See if you can bring them up in your mind's eye, your top values. Then I'm going to ask you this question. How is your spending in alignment with your spiritual and inner values? And how is it not? How is your spending in alignment with your spiritual and inner values? How is it not? Okay, you can come to a close of that. Okay. Find a way of stretching again and take a big breath in and just let a sound out. Give another one, and then this time just make some noise like. Okay, one more time. Breath in, and this time just make noises with your tongue like. Use your whole body to make these noises. Let's stay awake and engaged. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you all for doing all this work. It's huge. Moving on. Next question is, do you save money? What in your mind are you saving for? If you do save, is it done in a way that reflects a sense of spaciousness and belief in your future or not? This is one big question. I'll read it again. Do you save money? What in your mind are you saving for? And if you do save, is it done in a way that reflects a sense of spaciousness and belief in your future or not? Short answers. In other words, are you saving, if you're saving money, are you saving from a place of fear of the future, so you have to stash your nuts before the winter? Or are you saving with a sense of spaciousness and hope and optimism about your future? Another 15 seconds here. Do you invest money? If so, what feelings do you experience around investing? Do you invest with a sense of desperation to hit a home run? Do you avoid looking at your investments for months at a time? First, answer the first question. Do you invest money? And if so, what feelings do you experience around investing? The answer is no. Try not to cut it short that simply, you know. Write a few phrases about investing. Maybe some beliefs that you have about investing. Okay, another 10 seconds. Here's another series of questions. Stay with it. Keep staying with it. You're doing great. You're doing awesome. This is potent material to face. And again, potentially hard material to face. Do you earn money with ease and effort? Describe. Always short phrases, get to the core. Do you earn money with ease and effort? Yes, no, how? And do you earn money in ways that are consistent with your values? Do you borrow money with ease or with stress? Do you borrow money with ease or with stress? As you answer, see if any memory comes up. The last time you had to ask for money. And how was that? How did it feel in the body? Full self-honesty. Do you truthfully and openly communicate about money with your partner, friends, children, and colleagues? Do you truthfully and openly communicate about your money with your partner, friends, children, and colleagues? Next question. Do you wisely and purposefully give money away to charities or to family or friends in need? Do you wisely and purposefully give away money to charities, family, or friends in need? As you answer that question, in general, do you think you radiate a consciousness of generosity and prosperity, or one of scarcity and fear? You can answer both of them. Okay, and put down your pen. Take another breath. And we're nearing the last part of this class. You've done a lot of work so far to dig within yourself. This is a pretty important piece, your childhood money initiation moment. This is directly from Brent Kessel's writing fingers. Your childhood money initiation moments were times when you went through a strong emotional experience around money. The feeling states generated by these experiences can be profoundly positive or negative, and it's often the negative ones that lead to our distorted money habits. Some examples of childhood money initiation moments include seeing parents fight about money, having to move homes or schools for financial reasons, realizing your family had more or less money than others, feeling burdened or confused by how to manage money, enjoying the first time you could buy something for yourself, losing your first job, or watching your savings grow above 100 for the first time. So as you can guess, we're about to explore a childhood money initiation moment or moments. There's usually one or two that really stick with us. Notice before we go directly into the exercise, if there's any example that pops into your mind as I'm reading these things, you may already have something in mind that's been getting stirred up from all of this. Bring it to surface, stay close to your body, and we're going to go into the next exercise. Write about your childhood initiation moment and the main emotion around it. And then within that, it's going to be write down a core money message you receive. And as you write, I'm going to read a few examples. Usually, money messages you receive are things like, you should never do this. You should never spend money on da 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 da. Or you always have to save and blah 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 blah. So you're going to write about your childhood initiation moment and the main emotion. Again, emotion is going to show up in your body. You can even write it as a sensation if you want. And notice if it's fear, anger, sadness, joy, excitement, or any other emotion. And go. Again, here still try to get to the meat of the issue, of the story. Think back of your younger years and notice what happened, what you remember. Some examples are: there is never enough money. Money is difficult and confusing. I don't live to work, I work to live. These are the money messages that you may have received from these initiation moments. I can't afford to save. Money can't buy happiness. Don't talk about money. Don't trust people that have money. Don't tell him or her what it costs. We can't afford it. Money is corrupt. We have about another minute. Twenty seconds. Okay, begin wrapping it up. Okay, now we're going to rewrite your money message. So for example, if your money message was something like, I'll never get ahead in the financial system, and the financial system is stacked against me. I'll never get ahead because the financial system is stacked against me. You could rewrite it as in, I have great talents that are valuable to the right people, and I am free to choose to participate in ways that align with my values. So let this look at the money message you received, and let it come. Let new money message come from the heart, from the adult loving part of yourself, speaking to the child of you. Feel it. Send love. This is basically a mantra you're creating. You're rewriting the story. It doesn't have to be complicated or long. It could be really simple. But what would the adult, the one you are today, what would it speak to the child? And if you have difficult connecting to the child of you, think about a child you love. Maybe a nephew you have, or a neighbor's child, or your own children. What would you say to them if they have received this money message from your heart? And go. It's okay if emotions come. As you're coming up with something with the hand on your heart, speak it out loud. You don't have to speak it into the microphone, just speak it out loud to this child part of you. Let him or her hear it. And take another 15 seconds. Okay, good job everybody. And if nothing has come, that's okay. You don't have any clear particular answer, that's totally fine. You can always go back and see what else shows up. These are all seeds we're planting. This is already doing the work. The last thing I'm gonna give you today is this idea of the money breath. Also comes from Brent Kessel, and I know of a person directly that once I've taught it, she started using it pretty much from the day that I taught them this, and it really made a huge difference in her money life. Like, she still uses it. She told me it makes me laugh because it's great. It works. So anytime you notice yourself triggered or in altered state in any way around money, take a breath. This is the money breath. Before doing a purchase, any purchase, take a money breath. So you're hungry, you're gonna go buy yourself a nice bar of chocolate with almonds and salt. That's what I love. And you're gonna go to the cash register, actually even before you're about to grab it. You're gonna, as your hand is reaching, you're gonna stop for a second and take an in breath for 6 seconds, and give it a try right now. In breath for 6 seconds, and out breath for 4. And we're going to do one more time again. Imagine yourself, you're walking through Whole Foods or something, and you're about to buy a nice kombucha or something. And as your hand is reaching, you're going to pause for a second. You're going to take an in breath for 6. And out breath for 4. And then now look at the item and see if you want to still buy it or not. So you can use this if you choose to re-listen to this class and do the words exercises we did at the beginning. You can use this with every single word that I read. You can look at the word, notice whatever trigger shows up in your body, and take a money breath. Okay, here's the homework for this week. This is I wanted to do it intentionally light because I know that I've been piling up a ton of stuff, particularly the 200 answers craziness that happened last class. So I want to give you time to catch up on anything in these next 5 days, more or less. Catch up on anything that needs to be done still. Do as much as you can. Do or go towards the one that call you the most, and then sneak in even the one that don't call you, because there might be some gold there. And then I'm going to ask you to do 2 things. One is I'm going to ask you to make art of your money message, the one you received, and how you're changing it. Paint it and draw it. Literally take some crayons or some paintbrushes or however, or just a pencil or a pen even, and just draw the situation when you receive that money message, whether it was from your parents or from a big check, your first big check you received, whatever money message it is that you received. And then I also want you to draw in images how you're changing, what the curative money message that you're giving to yourself. And this doesn't have to be a long process. It can take, set the timer for 10 minutes and draw, and let yourself, whatever you draw, it's great. And then something else I want to see is I want you to send a pic of your money emotion. So pick whatever hard, sensation and emotion came up. Let's imagine an emotion around money is fear. So you're gonna snap a selfie of you in fear. Your face could be all cringed up and sort of like, ugh. And then I want you to snap another picture of yourself in a self-loving, in the self-loving state. You can even use the money breath between the two states. And in one state, you let yourself go into the emotion, and the other state, you're breathing with the money breath. And then you let yourself drop into your curative, your positive money message. And then from that place, then you take a selfie. And then I want you to post it on the Facebook private page, because we wanna honor you in the light and in the dark, and also to see that we all have those phases. We all have that place. Okay, so that's it for the class. I'm gonna bring us back. Let's see if I can find you guys. And let's see who's still connected. Timia and Taya and Daniel and Dominique. Great. Cool. So I wanna, let's see. Yes. So next week is gonna be a good class also. So I wanna open it up. Thank you all for staying a little longer. I wanna open it up for any question, Q&A time, towards me, towards each other, or any share, anything that's burning that has come out of this experience. So unmute yourself whenever and just chime in.
Hey guys, it's Euthymia. Wow, thank you, Fabio. This is all really wonderful. A lot of shame came up for me with the childhood money initiation. Like my whole life, it was like, we don't have enough, and our people are poor. There was this phrase that was used a lot growing up, rich white people. And it wasn't until I was in college and I said that one of my white friends was like, that's actually really offensive to me. And I was like, oh, because I just automatically put rich with white people, and then our people don't do those things, or our people can't afford that, which was really confusing for me, especially as a light-skinned woman, because I fit in all other ways except I prescribe myself as poor. But anyways, the memory I have is being when I was 10 years old. I went to this gifted and talented school, and they were all really well-off people. And I remember the first time going into one of their houses, my whole house could fit in their library. And I was like, whoa, and it was intense. And then I went to their other house and their other land, which was in Carbondale, beautiful land in Colorado. So there was also another separation with that. My indigenous ancestors, like them taking the land and like, oh, well, they can afford that, they have our land. And I remember saying something to one of the girls, like, wow, you guys are rich. And then the mom sat me down and had a talk with me and sat me on her lap and just kind of said, yes, the Lord has been very fortunate to us. And I just started crying and feeling shame that I spoke that they're rich as opposed to me being poor. Like I'm not supposed to see their wealth and acknowledge their wealth. So my rewrite is I have valuable gifts to offer the world, the entire world, and money is a vehicle for me to offer my gifts to more of the beautiful world. So thank you.
Oh. Hi. Yeah, anyone else? Taya, Daniel, Dominique, how are you doing?
I found it just a huge, huge weight. Um, every single relative, every single message was so constricting and fear-based and heavy, and yeah, definitely had moments of like, how am I going to reprogram this shit? But I know that I am. But it's just like from every angle. So it's wonderful that it's at least being brought more into conscious light. I've been aware of most of this to some degree or another, but just bringing it more into light so I can face it directly and address it in a productive way that will create change. So thank you for this. It's really powerful.
Amen. What's going on, Daniel?
Yeah, I encountered like a lack of respect for money in my reflections, like a lack of kind of like because my parents would just like for example, one thing I noticed is that I had a very unboundaried and unboundaried upbringing around money. Like if I wanted something, I'd get it, you know. But I didn't I feel like I don't have an intelligence or like an understanding of like money as a real thing, which is like limited and which is like got such costs. Like I feel kind of detached from like the true cost of money. So I'm just noticing how like, and it's also yes, in my ancestry there's kind of carelessness around money. Like okay, let's buy this because we can, but what is the cost? You know, what's the true cost? What's at stake? You know. So I'm just kind of remembering how my parents would buy all these like material goods and not even enjoy them, like nor know the cost, the true cost. So I feel sad. I feel sad. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like, and also generally a bit detached, like money, like just, yeah, just this just like, fuck it, like resentment and so on. So yeah, triggers galore. Yeah.
Yes.
Going on.
Yes.
Thanks, Fabio.
Thank you. Thank you. God, I honor so much all of that. All of that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Important. Dominique, you're like Spider Woman. You're upside down. What's going on, Spider Woman? You're muted. You're muted, Spider Woman. Let your voice ring.
Hey guys, I just want to share that I feel I just can't stop laughing. I feel that I couldn't fully devote my presence to this call, but I will listen to it again. I just had a friend swing by the house and kind of took my attention away. And yet, when I was really present with some of the questions that came through, my stomach and solar plexus was like throbbing, and I almost like threw up, you know. There is a lot of recognition towards the ancestral aspects of my relationship with money, and that I think are lingering towards my experience now in life. I also feel that I need to continue to listen to these calls and like really set a certain time in like a specific container to like really focus. And that kind of devotion is something that I think is going to be essential for my evolution on many levels. So really appreciate you, Fabio, for all the concerted efforts you put into this course and the depths of which people are sharing and the experience of this time, especially with money. Yeah, it's pretty profound.
Yeah. Dominique, do you need a partner to help you
stay focused?
Yeah,
like flirt?
like a sort of accountability partner. No, because I get it. Like I get the desire to distract in some way.
Yeah.
Like I do it all the time, every day actually. With Facebook, for example, I lose myself, or in computer videos, like YouTube videos, and
Yeah.
I have an accountability partner from another program, and he keeps me in line, and I keep him in line with what.
Yeah, you know,
what
that
matters the
sister
most.
who messaged me earlier today, I can't really pronounce her name, but it's beautiful and long with the red lipstick.
It's
really,
Euthymia is my
really,
name. Euthymia.
can you repeat it one more time?
Euthymia. Euthymia. It was my great grandmother's name. She's Native American from New Mexico. They call me Timmy.
Timmy. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. There was something about you connecting with me today that really, really charged it really activated me. So I would be interested to connect. And I'm also interested in connecting with everyone on an intimate level as well, or personal level, but I definitely have some fucking resistance towards this stuff, man. I'm telling you. I don't know if it's like the universe or me or all of it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I completely get it, and it's good to
Thanks.
pick one person. If you want to connect with the rest, is great, but it's good to pick one person if
Okay.
she or he accepts,
Okay.
because it creates that bond, and it's clear, it's direct. It's like one-on-one.
Right.
And the way that it's usually set up, I'm gonna offer this, and then you two decide to do it however you'd like it.
Okay.
The way that it's usually set up, it's you might set up like a meeting
Okay.
time, one time a week. Maybe like we'll check in on Friday afternoons, for 20 minutes, and then you'll do like a check-in, and
Yeah.
then maybe throughout the week you commit to something specific, and then you text message each other like, hey Timmy, did you do your push-ups today? And hey, Dominica, did you watch your video today? You committed, you said you were going to watch it within today. Now if you
Okay.
didn't, what came up? How can I support you to actually get you to do it?
Okay.
Something like that.
Oh, Fabio, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you to figure it out after the call. I'm sure you can like exchange phone numbers, and you have the Facebook group to do that. Anything else that's alive from today's call? It's a fairly deep call. You're also great. I also want to say that Natalie is in this class, and I didn't speak her name at the beginning when I said that we're all here. I just want to give a shout out to Natalie and to the new woman that's possibly joining us soon. So that's great. So I'm gonna speak a couple of words about next class. Next class we're gonna dive into the archetypes, the money archetypes. that stuff was major for me. Like when I found out archetypes, it's like I had a way out of my own patterns, and it was nice to see that there's ways in which groups of people tend to behave in similar ways. And then we're also going to take a look at a program that I use, and just using this one program could change the way that you receive money and you spend money. Just that program itself, even just doing that. So we're gonna do that. Anything else that's alive that wants to be shared before we say goodnight? Okay, so I invite you to after this call is over, I invite you to express gratitude to yourself for having gone through this experience. Just speak it out loud. Something really simple. But just acknowledge yourself for like having stepped in and doing the work, because you're doing the work, and that's huge. And gratitude is like a giant healing balm. So I'm definitely gonna do that. And if there's nothing else, we're gonna close for the night, and we'll see you next week. Cool. Okay, everybody. This will be online probably in the next few hours on YouTube, and we'll see you Wednesday. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Fabio.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fabio. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.